Continuation of section 7.2. I finished off with this problem on top. Most of these problems are pretty similar, these indefinite integrals, for you to try. I'd like to go over this one a little bit. This has to do with, if you recognize that it looks kind of like an inverse sine, that's because it is. The difference is that you have, instead of a 1 here, you've got a 25, right? What we're going to do here is, if you notice that there's a number here other than 1, if this was just a 1, we'd have no problem. One thing is I can factor the 12 out of here. That is a constant multiple. So using that, I now have this 25 minus x squared with respect to x. Now, the antiderivative of an inverse sine function of this form. So if I wanted to know what is the antiderivative of the square root of, instead of just a 1, if we have a squared minus, and let's say this was something besides an x, let's say it was like a u squared. Give me 1 second here. Okay, I'm back. I had to take a little pause there for a second. All right, so now the integral of dx over the square root of a squared minus u squared, where u is a function of x, is defined as the inverse sine of u over a, and then of course plus c. All right, now that's what we're going to do when we have something besides just a 1. So let's see how that works here. So I would have 12 times the inverse sine of, you'll notice that here what's being squared is just an x. So this would be x over a, which is the square root of this numerical term, which is a 5. Since a squared is 25, a would simply be 5, and then plus c. Now how can I tell that's correct? Well, find the derivative of this, make sure we get this back. Well, quickly here, if I, let me grab a different color. If I find the derivative, I've got 12 times 1 over the square root of 1 minus u squared, where u is x over 5. So if I square that, I get x squared over 25 times, now chain rule, the derivative of x over 5 is 1/5. So multiplying 12 times a fifth, I get 12 over 5 times 1 over. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to combine these terms. 1 minus x squared over 25. Look at the 1 as 25 25ths, and I'll get 25 minus x squared all over 25. Well, this denominator has a square root of 25 in it. Square root of 25 is just 5. So that's 1 over the square root of 25 minus x squared on top, and then the square root of 25 on bottom is just 5. So 5 divided by 5 cancels, and there's my answer. 12 times 1 over the square root of 25 minus x squared, which is what we started with. So we can see that it checks out, and we know that this antiderivative is definitely correct. Okay, I want to do some definite integrals here, so let's try a few of these. Now watch this, it's a little bit different than what you would do it with indefinite integrals, or even definite integrals where substitution method is not involved. You'll notice here again, inside the square root, I've got an x squared plus 1. Now don't assume substitution always needs to be used. First look at it. Do I know the antiderivative of this? No. Can I simplify it and use a simple reverse power rule or something like that? Nope, nothing I can really do. So I'm going to try substitution. I notice if I let u equal x squared plus 1, the derivative of that will have an x to the first in it, which should get me rid of, which should allow me to get rid of that x. So the derivative du or du dx is 2x. Moving the dx to the other side, I get this. Now I've got an x dx to get rid of right here. So let's divide the 2. So I've got a half du equals x dx. So I'm going to make these two substitutions, this one right here and this one right here. And watch what else I'm going to do. I'm going to change these limits. These limits are x values because I'm integrating with respect to x. After I find the antiderivative, I would plug these in for x. Well, now I'm going to change it so that it's in terms of u. So I'm going to change these values so that they're u values. So watch what I'm going to do. First, replace x dx with 1/2 du, and then replace x squared plus 1 with a u, so now you have the square root of u. Now, what about the limits? Well, if x is 0, plug this in for x right here. We know u is x squared plus 1. 0 squared plus 1 would be 1. So if x is 0, u is 1. Put 2 in then. 2 squared plus 1 is 5. So when x is 2, u would be 5. So now I have this. 1/2 is a constant multiple times the integral from 1 to 5 times the square root of u, which is u to the 1/2 du. Now I can find the antiderivative. The antiderivative of u to the 1/2 is u to the 3/2 times the reciprocal, which would be 2/3. And then, of course, I had this constant multiple of a half outside, and I want to evaluate this from 1 to 5. Now, usually with indefinite integrals, you now would plug x squared plus 1 back in place of u. I don't have to do that because I've changed my x values into values of u, so I can leave it like this. So multiplying a half times 2/3, I get 1/3. I get 5 to the 3/2 minus 1 to the 3/2. So that ends up with, well, 5 to the 3/2 is an irrational number. 1 to the 3/2 is just 1. So this is basically 1/3. 5 to the 3rd is 125, so I could write this as the square root of 125, which would then be 5 radical 5 if I wanted to, but all this would be okay right here. Here's an exact answer, and this will be just fine. Okay? All right, let's scroll down and try another problem involving a definite integral and substitution. So here I've got a constant multiple of 4, which again we can think of that as being out in front. I notice that sine x plus 1 is in the denominator here, and it's even being squared. I don't know this antiderivative without substitution, so I'm going to try to let u equal sine x plus 1, which I can see is going to work because the derivative of sine is cosine. So the derivative of this would be cosine x dx, which is perfect. That's exactly what I want to get rid of. So let's make these two substitutions. So I've got 4 times the integral. In place of cosine x dx, I'm just going to have du. I'll just write that at the end right away because that's where it's going to go. And then sine x plus 1 is u, so I'll have u squared in the denominator. So on top, all I've got left is 1, and in bottom, u squared. This is from, used to be from pi over 2 to pi. So now if I put pi over 2 in here, I know that the sine of pi over 2 is 1, and 1 plus 1 would be 2. If I put pi in here, I know the sine of pi is 0. 0 plus 1 is 1. So now I just have to find the antiderivative. Remember, 1 over u squared is u to the -2nd. It is not a natural log, this antiderivative. Be careful, that's only 1 over u to the 1st power. So I've got 4 times the antiderivative of u to the -2nd would involve u to the -1st times a -1, the reciprocal in front, from 2 to 1. So I have -4 times, put 1 in here, 1 to the -1 is 1, minus 2 to the -1 would be 1/2. 1 minus a half is a half. -4 times a half is -2. And I've got my value. And of course, these I can check, by the way, with fn int, right? Since they're definite integrals. So easy to check with our calculator. Here's my last one. Let's try this one. X sine pi x squared. Well, again, I don't know that antiderivative. I can't rewrite it really in any good way that will help me, so I'm going to use substitution. Inside the sine function is a pi x squared. If I let u equal this, x squared has a derivative that involves x, so let's try that. U equals pi x squared. Notice I didn't let u equal sine of pi x squared. There isn't a cosine anywhere. That'll help me. So du here is 2 pi x and then multiplied by dx. So the x dx I want to get rid of is right there. So let's get this 2 pi out of here. So 1 over 2 pi du is equal to x dx. So let's make these two solutions, this one and that one, and let's change the limits. So here we go. I've got, in place of x dx, I'm going to put 1 over 2 pi du. In place of pi x squared, I'm going to put u. So I've got sine of u. Now what? Put 1 in here. Pi times 1 is pi. Put 3 in here. 3 squared is 9. 9 times pi, that would be 9 pi. So rewrite this. I've got 1 over 2 pi as a constant multiple times the integral from pi to 9 pi of sine of u du. Find the antiderivative. So I've got 1 over 2 pi. Antiderivative of sine u is negative cosine of u from pi to 9 pi. Now, pi and 9 pi terminate in exactly the same place. They terminate on the negative x-axis, where cosine would be -1 because it crosses the unit circle at -1, 0. So we've got negative 1 over 2 pi times the cosine of 9 pi is -1 minus the cosine of pi is -1. So that's just going to give me 0. So that integral has a value of 0. Okay, and that's it. So you notice when you have a definite integral and you use substitution, you're going to change not only the integrand, but you're also going to change the limits of the integral so that they are values of u instead of x, and that can save you some time. Good luck.